What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from ActheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I have been given advanced screening privileges to In Your Dreams. This is the new Netflix animation that is coming out on November 14th. It did at least some sort of a Oscar qualifying run so that it can be in contention for that. For Best Animated Feature, which I would be shocked considering how dull this year has been for animation if this didn't, unless there are just like a ton of international animation films that are just going to swarm us at the end of the year that I'm unaware of. It's not been a great year for animation. It's been looking like K-pop Demon Hunters was just going to take us in a walk, but it didn't even feel like K-pop was like the right choice for best animated feature. I know it seems blasphemous, but like it's a fun movie, but it doesn't feel like I liked Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, and I would be fine with it being nominated, but like winning, like some of those films, it's like, was there nothing else? Like, did we not, considering some of the amazing animated features that we've had over the years, that have truly sort of transcended, and they feel like they're pushing against their medium, and that they're not just the best animated feature, but they are one of the best features of the year. And that's what I think stands apart. I want my best animated feature of the year to feel like it could have been competitive in best picture as well. Not that it's just the best thing that was animated. Um, but this does have an okay voice cast. I mean, the main girl here is from Just Add Water, who does the voice cast for the older sister. I didn't watch that series, but I'm sure your kids did. The adult casts that you might recognize are Simu Liu and Kristen Milioti, who play the parents, and then there's also sort of a Bing Bongish character here that's voiced by Craig Robinson. That is a stuffed giraffe named Tony Baloney, or Baloney Tony. One of those two. It's Tony Baloney just feels way more than Baloney Tony. I think it's Tony Baloney. So we have a film about a girl is welcoming her younger sibling, her younger brother, into the world at the beginning of the film. There's this dream sequence, and she deals a lot with dream sequences. Obviously, I know it's shocking for a film called In Your Dreams, and she ends up kind of growing up with this little brother, and they're not really well to do, so they share a room, which is a little odd when you find kids of different genders. Usually it's like if you can try to find them different rooms, you do, but they get kind of old. They also end up sleeping in the same bed in certain scenes. I think they have different beds, but there are also, for a lot of the mechanics of the film, they end up sleeping in the same bed. And things just aren't going great for the family, but mom gets a job opportunity, and it's in some like incredibly Midwestern town too that I've already forgotten, but I love the props because like normally people are like, we're moving to Chicago, we're moving to San Francisco, we're moving to one of these like major cities. I think it was like Duluth. I was like, okay, props. I love when we don't go to typical places. I love when it's like a city that's big enough where people like go, oh, I've heard of that, but it's also not the place that everybody goes. Where it's like, where are we going? We're going to New York. Oh, of course we are. Of course we're going to New York. you know? So I like the fact that her job interview was in Duluth. I was like, oh, cool, props. 10 points, Gryffindor. Um, so, but she can sense the tension between mom and dad, and they're falling out of love, and they're so lost without you. And she tries doing things like making breakfast and doing this thing where she sets it up like a meet cute, right? So she makes breakfast for both of them and then says the other one made it for the other one so she can get them all together, and get her parents together and get them talking and getting them back to, they used to be musicians back in the day, and now they were in a band together. Now they're adulting. So yeah, dad's still sort of in that soul crushing. He wants to be a musician, but mom is trying to be the one that finds a way to earn money for everybody. And she's worried that they're going to end up getting a divorce and splitting up. And it's kind of a heavy topic, but while she's out with her little brother, they find this book on the Sandman, and because he has to do a book report for school, and mom asks her to help him with it, and they go to this thrift store, find a book on the Sandman, and they read this enchantment, and basically, it's about if you read the spell, all your dreams will come true. And so they're waiting for that, and they're like, oh, wouldn't that be cool? And of course, the little brother like wants things like a jetpack and dynamite fists and a six-pack and stuff like that, because he's a little boy who reads comic books. And the sister just kind of at the time is like, you know, he's like, what would you wish for? And she's like, my own room. But secretly, we know what she would wish for, and that's kind of the journey. Eventually, what ends up being the bulk of this movie is that they fall asleep, and they're able to they dream together because they read the book together. They read the spell together, so they dream together. And when one of them wakes up and is afraid of nightmares, and it stops the dream. But they figure out that if they can get to the Sandman, that he'll grant them their dreams and make them true. That he has the magical powers to turn their dreams into reality, which Big Sis doesn't necessarily reveal at the start what her dreams are, and let her brother know that her parents are clearly having marital strife. But it becomes a journey about these kids trying to go through the dream world to fix what's wrong with their parents and what that's like for them. So it's an animated film that has a fun journey for brother and sister who learn how to compromise and be in each other's spaces and work with each other when they sort of have not really a terribly contentious relationship, but I wouldn't say a symbiotic relationship, and work together for the greater good, to try to save this family of theirs. And yeah, it's got heart in it. Craig Robinson voices this horse that they pick up in the dreaming that is it's not horse, giraffe, sorry. This Baloney Tony, which is a Tony Baloney. I don't know what his name was. It's one of those two. And it's a stuffed animal that the brother lost and hasn't been able to find. And there's some good gags with that. And Craig Robinson does a nice job voicing. I was kind of wondering where they were going to go with that character, because it does feel like a Bing Bong character. It feels like this character that joins them on this journey. But, it's a character that's in the dreaming. It's not a character. There's not, at the end of this movie, there's not going to be a talking animated giraffe that flies around in the real world. It's a character that only works in one space. So, but yeah, he does some really nice work, and there's some great jokes here. It deals with like nightmares and facing your fears. There's some lessons to be learned about nightmares and what they're there for. I thought that was really nice. Some stuff that they play around with nightmares, and sort of like those be careful what you wish for situations. All those different things happen here, and it's lovely. There's a little bit of music, a little bit of singing, but it's not like a full-blown musical. So I don't think I can't see this being a play for original song, but I think it could be a play for animated feature for Netflix. And right now, I think it is the best animated feature I've seen this year. It's the first film that I've seen this year where I'm comfortable saying it is the best animated feature of the year without feeling sad. Now, could we still get better? Absolutely, we could. But this is the first film where I'm like, oh yeah, definitely lock this into the 5. Put this in there. This is clearly of the kind of quality. It has a lot of heart behind it. It has a great story kids will love. Families, everybody can watch this. It's accessible to everybody. The audio description here is done by International Digital Center. It's written by Betty Capone, narrated by Tristan Snyder. Um, I love that Netflix, the way that they screen their movies. By the way, I have conversations with like other studios, and I'm always like, dude, do it the Netflix way. If you have a streaming platform, like deliver all of your stuff this way because this is the best way to do it. Um, because I have access to the audio description in ways that I don't with like everyone else. I mean, even the Apple stuff, I don't bother. You don't see me doing a lot of Apple advances because, believe it or not, their stuff is really bad. Like their their the way that they screen, not only is their app difficult to use, but it doesn't come with audio description, even though it will when it's on their service. So Disney's also atrocious. They have a really terrible, it's really hard to use, doesn't really work well with screen readers system. But yet they have a streaming service, and it's like, if you put the preview content on Disney Plus, then we can watch it. Look at that. Everybody should just do what Netflix does. Um, so yeah, I had full access, and Tristan's voice on this is lovely. I thought Betty did a lot of really amazing writing because there's so much stuff that happens in the dreaming, so much really weird stuff. I mean, it's dreams. Like I got to give props to the screenwriter for coming up with all of these utterly bizarre things that happen to these kids in the dreaming, from like talking food to things that happen to them in real life, and you're like, well, you know that that's gonna come back to haunt them in their in their nightmares as they keep trying to face the Sandman, and it does in some really interesting ways. So, you know, like talking hot dogs that, but they're sort of like nightmarish, and it's, I guess this could be maybe a little scary for kids, but everything is kind of played to with like some laughter at the end of it. It's not really played to like it's not Coraline. You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't a film where I think your kids are gonna be like, oh my god, I can't watch this movie, you know, cry me to sleep. Um, a lot of it ends up being sort of humorous. That's sort of the nightmares that they encounter and get out of. But yeah, it would seem nightmarish if you were a little kid looking at some of these things in real life, in your dreams. Um, so I love this movie. It charmed me. I'm a big fan. And while I would say last year my favorite animated feature was The Wild Robot, and I would still put The Wild Robot over this. And like I said, I think we have room to grow. I don't really see, I kind of know what the other animated features are this year, so unless there's an international play like Flow that's going to come out of nowhere and just smack people in the face that I'm missing, that I haven't heard a lot about. I don't know what it is, but this might be my favorite animated feature of the year. I don't know what else is down the pike from this, but yeah, I adore this. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm going to give it an 8.4 out of 10. I liked it. I think you'll like it too. And I'm pretty high on this. So watch it with the fam when it drops for you guys on November 14th. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys on the other side.